the Sabbath. I don't know much about Jews. Don't know much about Jews. They have a strange religion. Being raised Catholic and then pretty much just bowing out of any religion, all I really knew about was Catholicism. And what I was taught were that Jews were monsters that live under your bed, and then they just take away your money. That's what they taught me. That's what the Father Michael taught me about the Jews. Now, I just don't know anything about the Jews. But I do kind of know a couple of things. They love fooling and tricking God. It's a whole industry, apparently, is tricking God. God has laid down some rules. Some of God's rules seem pretty easy, and some of them seem hard, and others seem ridiculous. Now, the Jews seem to have a lot of ridiculous God laws that have been thrown out there. And for those, they seem to have cleverly, craftily, if I may, very crafty people have come up with ways of fooling God. Now, I guess on the Sabbath, and Drew, if I'm mistaken, you let me know. What day is the Sabbath?
Oh, it's coming up, Anthony.
Yeah?
Yeah, I know all about stuff. No, yeah, it's Saturday.
Saturday is the Sabbath. So it starts on sundown Friday?
That is correct.
And it lasts till what? When?
Sundown Saturday.
Sundown Saturday. Okay. So we got us 24 hours where our whole goal as a Jew is to trick God. Because Jews aren't allowed to do a lot of things on the Sabbath. Things that involve technology. We know the basics as non-Jews, you know. You're not allowed to use lights. Elevators are a big thing. You can't use an elevator unless, of course, again, they figure out a way to trick God. But I didn't know there were things like tearing paper. You aren't allowed to tear stuff. So toilet paper becomes a problem. And they sell a special Jew toilet paper that is already torn. So you can't go and rip it off the roll. It's just now you got your few sheets and you can wipe your Jew ass now. I'm teasing, of course.
Well, that's why we need all the money. What we do is we just take everybody's money, and since there's already just one little sheet, we wipe our asses with that.
Wipe your ass with other people's cash. I get it. And then when you flush it down the toilet, the tunnel Jews get it and come out of the hole in the sidewalk. It's all coming together.
Dad, he's on to us. Jesus.
He's on. Yeah. It's going to be just a shot come through this fucking window. Okay. All right. So there are some rules that are easier than others to adhere to, some that I don't understand. There's another one with like water, with wringing out water, or it's weird. There's some crazy shit here. And this water thing, having water put into something and then taking it out of something is God says no. And they have figured out that toothbrushes are against what God is saying you're not supposed to do on the Sabbath. If you're brushing your teeth and those bristles hold water, and then if the water comes out of those bristles, somehow God is mad at you, mad at your Jew toothbrush, your Joothbrush. So they've come up with a Shabbat toothbrush. I Shabbat you not. And here it is. Jewish Pathways, taking the next step to your money. Oh, the laws of Shabbat Rabbi Shraga Simmons.
One aspect of Shabbat observance that can be challenging for people is the lack of a good option for brushing teeth on Shabbat. Now, a friend of mine, Shmuel Veffer in Toronto, is not only a creative wizard, but he's also a rabbi who understands the challenges that people can have with keeping Shabbat. So he recently invented what's called the Shabbos toothbrush, which addresses the halachic issues related to brushing teeth on Shabbat. And let's go through them now, one at a time.
Good.
The first issue is schita, squeezing out a liquid. Now, a standard
Schita.
toothbrush has densely packed nylon bristles, and when the toothbrush is wet, water gets trapped between the bristles.
Okay, pause.
So then
Pause.
when the wet
Squeezing out liquid. I cannot fathom why God doesn't want you squeezing out liquid unless it's coming out of your dick. I get that. Don't masturbate, whatever. And I don't even know if Jews are, I know Catholics, they don't like that. But I don't even know about Jews. But squeezing out liquid, wringing a cloth out, I guess that's not good. But then to micromanage it down to the point where water coming out of a toothbrush is squeezing liquid out, and you need a special Joothbrush in order to not get God mad at you. So once again, those crafty little fellas, they've invented something that they can just shake in God's face and go, you thought you had us with this one. All right, roll them.
trapped between the bristles. So then when the wet toothbrush presses against the teeth, many rabbinic authorities consider this a problem of schita, since the water is squeezed out from between the bristles. So to address this issue, the Shabbos toothbrush is made with rubber bristles, which are far enough apart so that no liquid is absorbed or squeezed out of the bristles. A second issue is that sharp nylon bristles of a regular toothbrush can cause gums to bleed. This is a problem of chavala, causing oneself to bleed on Shabbat. So to avoid this, the soft, rounded rubber bristles of the Shabbos toothbrush do not cause bleeding. And in the rare case that sensitive gums bleed even with the Shabbos toothbrush, you should really call your dentist. The third issue is the toothpaste.
Unless you're an anti-dentite.
Authorities prohibit the use.
You could pause for a minute here, too, because I would like to say the whole gist of a toothbrush is that liquid does kind of stay in there. That would be the mixture of the water and the toothpaste foaming up and adhering to the toothbrush so that it can be delivered and utilized in different parts of your mouth, back, teeth, and things like that. Eliminating the capacity and ability for a toothbrush to retain liquid defeats the whole purpose of it being a toothbrush and brushing your teeth. And the bristles themselves need to have some type of abrasive quality to it to clean the teeth. It sounds to me like the Jews, in fooling God with a toothbrush, are not really getting their teeth clean. So, that's just my opinion. But let's hear the rest from Reverend Rabbi Shalachem Macholi.
The third issue is the toothpaste. Most rabbinic authorities prohibit the use of regular toothpaste on Shabbat, since spreading any cream or ointment is prohibited under the malacha of mimareach. So
okay,
to go
malacha of mimareach. Under the malacha of mimareach, you cannot spread any type of ointment or cream or anything. What about soap for washing your face? I got to guess by what he's saying, you cannot, as a Jew, take a bar of soap, run the water, and then wash your face. I would imagine that Jews are pretty dirty by the end of the Sabbath. And you wouldn't want to get into an up-close conversation with with a Jew that's been really strictly practicing not offending God during the Sabbath. But all right, so no creams, ointments, and spreading out that toothpaste is whew, boy, it's a lot to fucking. And this is just brushing your teeth. These Jews just got out of bed. They go into the bathroom and already, first of all, how do you even see they couldn't turn the light on? I guess you got to turn the light on Friday, and it's on till Saturday night, until Sunday morning, really, I would assume. So this is just brushing your teeth. Now 24 hours of just toiling to try to fool God, who's infallible and unfoolable, I've heard. All right, let's hear a little more of this guy.
He is prohibited under the malacha of mimareach. So to go along with the Shabbos toothbrush, there is a special Shabbos tooth wash. Now this is a concentrated liquid that avoids the problem
the toothbrush won't hold.
of mimareach. And it's certified kosher by the OU. And finally, there is the issue of uvda dechol, a weekday activity. The halacha says that just as we walk differently on Shabbat and we wear different clothes on Shabbat, so too the experience of brushing one's teeth should be different on Shabbat. So as a result, printed right onto the handle of the Shabbos toothbrush is a special designation for Shabbat. But beyond this, the brushing experience itself is different because the rubber bristles of the Shabbat toothbrush feel more like a mouth-cleaning gum massage.
They don't work.
Different than if you've brushed your teeth.
The rubber bristles don't work at all. It's different brushing your teeth with the Shabbat toothbrush, because it's completely not a toothbrush and will not hold liquid. And the tooth wash that you use, and not the toothpaste, is not a cream or anything because of wachana. And you'll go around with filthy teeth from Friday night till Saturday night. All right. Let him finish up. Who am I?
But here's where things get a bit tricky. Rabbi Yisrael Belsky of Torah Vodas, a leading rabbi in New York, examined and approved the Shabbos toothbrush, but added the following stipulation. He says that if you're bothered by the inability to brush your teeth on Shabbat, then it's fine to use the Shabbos toothbrush. But if you're not bothered by it, then don't go looking for ways to do weekday activities on Shabbat. Some people might wonder, doesn't the whole idea...
So he's like, look, if you want to brush your teeth, you better use this fucking Joothbrush with the fucking rubber nubs on it and no toothpaste. But if you don't want to use that and you still want to do a weekday activity like brush your teeth, don't. He's telling you not to brush your teeth unless you use this toothbrush. I could speak a little Jew. I see where he's going with this. Wow.
Some people might wonder, doesn't the whole idea of a Shabbos toothbrush violate the spirit of Shabbat? Far from it. God does not want us to suffer. Rather, he wants us to think about him all the time. So the idea of prohibiting a weekday activity, uvda dechol, on Shabbat, is that God wants us to think about him more on Shabbat. So actually, if the Shabbat toothbrush is increasing the idea of oneg Shabbat, which is a person's enjoyment of Shabbat, and it's helping the person connect more to God, then that's a positive thing. Whereas if it's helping you forget that it's Shabbat, then indeed that's a problem. If you personally have any questions about using the Shabbos toothbrush, speak with your local rabbi.
Doctor or accountant. That is a chore, my friends. And that was just for brushing your fucking teeth.